the cards don't fall out. Hello, welcome or welcome back to Classes with a Quirk, where I talk about contemporary and luxury designer items and brands with a touch of silliness. If this is the kind of content that you find interesting, please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. So I've had my Louis Vuitton Recto Verso in the monogram canvas for a few weeks now, and some of you might remember when I unboxed this on my channel, I had a whole video about why I ended up buying it and how I came to the conclusion of buying it, and it was a chatty video on top of the unboxing. If you're interested in that, I'll link it above and below for you, but the result was I bought the Louis Vuitton Recto Verso in the monogram. I've been using this as my daily wallet since I purchased it, and I had a couple of misgivings just because some people were talking about the canvas would stretch out, the glazing would be an issue, and I don't know how the glazing or canvas will wear in the long term, but I do really enjoy it. It is very slim and compact. It fits in pretty much all of my mini bags, and it carries everything I need. And I just have been really enjoying this piece, so I wanted to share it with you today and give you like an initial review after a few weeks of use. I've of course placed my non-essential cards in this for demonstration today, but I still can show you how I use this piece and how everything works for me. So first of all, on the back, it does have the 4 card slots, which I do utilize. And I would just like to let you know that when I have this full, because it's full of cards, it has some cash in it, it does have a few coins, I do have a little bit of buckling on the canvas, if you can see that. It does get a little distorted, but I don't really have a problem with that. And it really is, let me see if I can show you, it pulls taut. So the canvas pulls taut, and you can see here there's that little dip in the canvas when it is full over here, and that the zipper does warp a little bit when it's full. I don't mind that. It's not like ziggity zaggity bulging, and it doesn't bother me. And obviously I bought this piece to use, so I don't really mind if the canvas does get a little bit warped because I, use it, and that's what I got it for. So I have the 4 card slots that are my general credit cards. These are the credit cards that I use all the time that I want within easy access. I did have somebody mention that they didn't like the fact that you had things displayed because, having your credit cards displayed is obviously not a good thing, but they don't really poke out that much, as you can see. Only the bottom one pokes out the most. This is my black belt certification card. I'm an internationally recognized black belt. I just think that's funny. But they don't really show that much, and I just move them so you can't see the numbers. And it is not easy for somebody to just take a card out. This might change with time, but I do actually have to really pull them to get them in and out. And I do again think that the canvas will stretch a little bit and give a little bit, but because it's canvas, it doesn't stretch out the way that leather does. So I think that this might offer a little bit more resistance in the long run than the Empreinte version would. And yeah, I don't worry about somebody taking my cards out of this thing or seeing my information from me using the piece. I don't really have an issue with that. It's not a concern of mine. So aside from the 4 card slots in the back, there is a zipper compartment, and the thing I really like about this zipper compartment is that it is an L zip, so it goes all the way down here. So it is so much easier to reach inside and get things out of it and put things into it. I've seen some other card holders kind of like this. In fact, YSL recently had a card holder kind of come out that's a little bit like this. It has card slots in the back, a front flap, and a zipper, which I thought was really cool, and it's actually less expensive than this one. It's in leather and it's YSL, and I had considered that, but the zipper is very short. It only comes to about here, and it doesn't have an L zip, so it looks like it would be a real struggle to get things in and out of that compartment, and I didn't like that. So it has this L zip here. It has the front flap where you can put additional cards or cash. And then it has this flap over here, this little pocket. And I really like the layout of this because it allows me to keep things organized, everything in its place and a place for everything. And like this pocket here is actually really useful. Cash, nothing will fall out of it. Like things will not fall out of this just because how much pressure is pushed in from this side and this side, just the make of it. It's not an open pocket, and I wouldn't be concerned even if I kept cards in it. I wouldn't put coins in it, obviously, but for cash or cards, this little pocket here, I think works very well. And, you know, as I said, it does hold cash, and so that's where I keep a little bit of cash in here. I will say that this slot, this area fits American USD very, very well. It tucks in very nicely so it doesn't poke out and interfere with the zipper. But other currencies do sit a little higher because American currency is a little bit shorter than most currencies. So for instance, this is an American dollar bill and this is a Japanese yen. And you see how the Japanese yen is shorter than the American bill, but it's taller than the American bill. So if I take this Japanese yen and I fold it in half and I put it inside, it doesn't tuck in nearly as far, so it does just come up to where the zipper is. So that is just something to keep in mind. And I think this is the same for Canadian bills and euros. They're all taller than the American dollar. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want to put cash in this area, you might have to fold it more than once, as opposed to American bills, which you only need to fold it in half. So I have, you know, this pocket again. I keep my cash in and it tucks in really, really nicely. So my credit cards I keep in these slots. And then my ID, my insurance card, my AAA card, all the cards that I want to have easy access to but don't need right here, I keep in this flap. And this flap does fit all 4 cards really nicely. I obviously have different cards right now, but this flap easily fits 4 cards, which is my ID, my insurance card, my bank card, and my AAA card. So that's really easy. I think a few more cards could probably fit in here, no problem. Let me see. So I have 4 cards in here right now, and then let's add 5, 6, 7, oh wow, 8, 8, okay. That's more than I was expecting. All right, so 8, 9, okay, and that still closes really easily. So, all right, 9, 10, I don't have that many cards. 11, 11. Okay, so 11 is a little bit pushing it because it starts sticking up in the back, but let's take out 11. 10 closes, 10 closes. 10 is a little bit much. It does, the button is strained. So I'd take out 10, but 9 closes super easily. So 9 cards can fit in this area. Like that's more than I would ever carry, but that's kind of cool to know. So you've got 4 cards here, 9 cards here. So that's already 13 cards that this little thing holds. That's super cool. You will see that it does bulge out a lot more on the bottom over here. You can kind of see the indent of the cards. But if you just want this to carry things, like you can carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's 9 cards. Okay. I do not want to carry that many, so I'm going to just put the cards down. And now that the cards are out and I've been carrying cards in it for a while, you can see that it does push up a little bit, like it doesn't lie flat anymore. So it does have a little bit of a shape. That's a little bit of the canvas adjusting to carrying 4 cards, which is just enough for me. So 4 cards in here, 4 cards in here, 8 cards, and cash in here. And then of course the L-zip. So a nice thing about this part is that it does come with a keychain, which you can use to carry it. You can use to attach the inside of your bag. I did have some people say that it doesn't make sense to use this to attach to your bag because it's your wallet hanging from your bag. And I wouldn't be attaching this to the outside of my bag as a bag charm. This would be on the inside of my bag, hooked inside, so it's easy to find. But the nice thing about Louis Vuitton clips here is that they don't push in or push out easily. You actually have to pull them and then push them up. It's a different mechanism than a regular lobster clasp. So again, you have to pull it and then push it up. Like if somebody wanted to take this, they couldn't just yank it. They'd have to actually undo the mechanism, which is, you know, an extra bit of security. It wouldn't stop somebody who was really thoroughly intent on pickpocketing you, but it's an extra measure of security. And it is nice to just be able to carry this like this if you're going out somewhere. I like that. So, okay, so you've got the L-zip, and what do I keep in here? So I actually keep a couple of additional cards. I'm just keeping some gift cards in here. So that's 3 cards in this compartment. I think you can probably carry more. And then I carry a little bit of coin with me in this case. Even if I have a separate coin case or a coin pouch, I also carry coins in my clay with my keys. I always carry 2 quarters with me no matter where I go. So I have 2 quarters in this, I have 2 quarters in my key pouch. So I always have 2 quarters on me. So 2 quarters will fit in here. You can fit additional change. I don't particularly care to. Even if I got change from here, I could put change in here, but I would prefer to carry change in a different little case, but you can carry change in here fine. The only thing is that the more change you put inside, especially with the key fob in there too, you are going to bulge this out more and distort it a little bit more. So I just prefer not to. If I am paying in cash, not that I really do nowadays, if I'm paying in cash and I receive change, I can just dump it in here, no issue, but I just prefer not to, in the grand scheme of things, keep change except for my 2 quarters. So I have 2 quarters in there, the keychain thing is also in there, and 3 cards, and that fits super easily and zips up no problem. And if you're taking out the key fob, you could probably fit even more in there, like if you just keep the key fob out. I generally keep the key fob in just for neatness, but if I am like grabbing it for something, the key fob is super easy to just grab. So 3 cards, key fob out, 4, 5, 6. So key fob out, 6 cards and some quarters, and that zips up fine. It does distort it a little bit more, as you can see. And I personally wouldn't stuff it that full. I don't need to. If I wanted to take additional cards with me, I would just put them in this front flap. But it's something you can do. You also can use this zip pocket for your cash if you wanted to. So if I took out my cards and I wanted to keep my cash in here, I could. And especially if the key fob is out, the American bills fit in there really nicely and they clear the zipper just fine, so you can zip it up no problem. But I will repeat that if you are using non-American bills, which are a little bit taller, like the yen, if you put that inside, it just clears the zipper, like it goes right up against the zipper. So it would be really hard to close it and not catch the money. So you would have to fold this probably an additional time just to get that in there, no problem. But especially if you're not carrying a lot of cash, that doesn't super matter. I do prefer to keep the cash in here for easy access and it fits there the nicest. But if you're not keeping cash in this slot, you can also keep cards. So let's put in some cards. Let's put in 3 cards just to see. All right, so 3 cards in here. The cards don't fall out. Again, because this and this side presses in, they kind of keep the cards in with gravity and physics. So you don't really have to worry about cards shaking out. And 3 cards in here, let's put in 3 more cards. So 6 cards are in here now. I wouldn't do that. It does bulge it out a little bit more and I don't need to keep 6 cards in this slot. I also want to mention that if you are putting too many cards in this area, the cards themselves will bend over time, which I obviously don't want to do. So I think that 3 cards is kind of the max for me because that fits in nicely and that's all I really want. Let's see. I think 4 would be fine. So I think 4 would be my max for fitting cards in this area. But again, I don't particularly need to because I put my excess cards in the L zip. So let's put this back in here. And this just opens up to a black interior on the monogram one. It's, if you get the Damia bean with the rose malin or the fuchsia color, I don't know what it's called, the fuchsia color, but it'll be fuchsia or rose ballerine inside here. I actually really like the black with the monogram. It's super grown on me, so I enjoy that. This piece is made in France, which I think is kind of cool. And it did not come with a date code. This is a chipped piece, so it now has the scannable chip inside, which, you know, is also cool. Yay, the future technology. So let's put my cards back in here. And really quick run through with the key chain fob out. 4 cards here, 4 cards here, 3 cards in here, and 2 quarters and cash in here. And that is a nice, handy little super compact, convenient wallet. I am really pleased. As a really quick comparison, this is the Louis Vuitton key pouch, or the clay. It is a little bit smaller than the Recto Verso. It's a little bit shorter, and it's also not as long, and it's obviously not as wide. And you can just put cards in here with no problem, or coins. You would have to fold your cash, obviously. I think that this could technically fit more cards in it if you're just shoving cards inside. I've seen people shove as many as 20. I don't need to, and obviously I think that 20 cards could fit in here just fine too, and you can fit in your cash and your coins as well, where this is a little bit less organized. It's just a bunch of things shoved together. I do use this, but I use it for my keys, and I find it really convenient for my keys, especially because it comes with a fob too that I can just carry it with and have it dangle. But as a wallet, this didn't work for me, and I mentioned that in my video about buying this. This is mentioned a lot and why this didn't work for me. So what does work for me, what I really am pleased to have gotten, is the Recto Verso. And I want to say thank you to everybody who weighed in on me purchasing this and gave me their opinions and took pictures of their own pieces to like show me in comparison. I really like this piece a lot. I've been really enjoying using it. It is super convenient, super compact. Again, it fits in most of my mini bags. And if you want, I can also make a follow-up video about putting this into a bunch of different mini bags and kind of showing you how that fits inside different bags. So if you're interested in that, just leave me a comment down below and let me know. It does have the beautiful monogram with the floor center, and the LVs perfectly centered over here. It's got the brass button, which is what the monogram one has, and I just really like it. So that is my in-depth look at the Recto Verso, and a wallet that I am super duper happy with. If you like this video, please do give it a like because it super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more content because it helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.